If you weren't fighting, would you be playing a different sport, you think?
I might be selling dope. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing.
Do we have ourselves a new Nate Diaz in the heavyweight division? Did Nate Diaz just get reincarnated by Steven Asplund in the heavyweight division? Oh my God. Just in case you guys missed it, literally, what was it? Friday night, we made our video directly to Steven Asplund, talking about his story, talking about why he's going to win this fight, picking him. And the performance that he gave us last night. Dude, what a ridiculous striker. I mean, the way that Steven Asplund was being able to get away from these punches, but then put back his own, didn't have the most power, but put on one of the most Nate Diaz-like performances that I have seen in a while. And I loved it, bro. The story on this guy being 525 pounds just 4 years ago, and now is in the UFC, winning his debut and automatically breaking a record, right? Having the most significant strikes in a 3-round heavyweight fight. I mean, bro, what a way to make a statement here in the UFC heavyweight division when it feels like we need it most. We seen Fry versus Pat on the prelims of last night's card. And those are some of the most horrible UFC fighters that we have seen in this heavyweight division. I was watching that fight and said to myself, there's no way. I bet you Hamdi Abdul Wahab could take down a guy like Pat. Fry was trying to put on the pressure, wasn't throwing any punches. Absolutely horrible heavyweight fight. But Steven Asplund, give him one of those guys. Give him Pat. And I guarantee you Steven Asplund beats the hell out of him. You guys, I'm high on this kid, man. I mean, he is a hittable fighter, don't get me wrong. And when you do look at some of his losses to Denzel, back in his regional days, this is a guy that couldn't be taken down, got put in a rear naked choke, and got tapped out. But we heard in the post-press conference talking about how he's been working with Gable Stevenson. Yup, both from Minnesota. Minnesota creating heavyweights like we've never seen them before, my friends. It's absolutely amazing. All right. The sky's the limit for Steven Asplund. Don't give him a ranked fighter yet, but continue to let him be rocking all these guys in the lower levels of the UFC. All right. Now, I want to talk about Manel Kape.
Time ago, I will knock him out just on value as well. You know, I know they don't have hands for me. 5 rounds, I can take a lot of time. You know, I can take my time. I can shine. But if they make a mistake, I will knock him out in the first round. But like I say, I want to play with my food on the first round, and then second round I can do my job.
I mean, Manel. Oh man, the flavor in Manel. Manel Kape goes in there and absolutely obliterates Brandon Royval like nobody has ever seen before, right? Alexander Pantoja, Brandon Moreno, Tatsuro Taira, right? Didn't make the fight look like how Manel Kape did it yesterday. Manel Kape at the post-press conference automatically calling Joshua Van scared, saying that Joshua Van doesn't want to face him because he knows what will happen. And I'm telling you guys right now, man, Manel Kape, when I seen him coming into this fight with Brandon Royval, the number one thing that came to my head was Manel Kape when he beat Kaya Sakura in Ryzen, right? It's a kickboxing organization, absolutely phenomenal stand-up fighters. And I said to myself, you know, he's beating guys like that. He should be able to beat guys like Brandon Royval. He went in there and absolutely displayed it. There's levels to this striking game. And he is going to be ranked the number 2 in the division now, behind Alexander Pantoja, because Brandon Royval was ranked number 2. He's jumping a bunch of spots. I would not mind to see Manel Kape get a fight with Joshua Van after that performance, right? He brought up an absolutely amazing point at the post-press conference and talked about, you know, Tatsuro Taira's last couple wins, Brandon Royval's last couple wins. Manel Kape is stopping dudes and making it look amazing. right? I know, he hasn't fought the most times compared to a lot of these fighters in these rankings. So due to that, he may still need to win another fight. But it's absolutely fantastic. And I think in this division, we need people like this. Joshua Van became the new champion, the flyweight champion, by beating Alexander Pantoja from an injury. All right. For a while, Alexander Pantoja was beating everybody in the division, lapping it. So it felt like we needed new people. And now you got Tatsuro Taira, who's on the run, who's people are talking about him getting the next title shot. And now after a performance like that, Manel Kape, in my opinion, could have just boosted himself up over Tatsuro Taira. That is a fight that I would love to see. Stylistically, it's tough for both fighters, right? Tatsuro Taira never been in there with a striker like Manel Kape. Manel Kape never been in there in a wrestler with Tatsuro Taira. But at the end of the day, I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Manel Kape in this division, all right? Now, I want to talk about the co-main event, Kevin Vallejos. What he did to Giga was... Damn! Giga has never been knocked out before in his UFC career, or let alone look like that, the way Kevin did. When you look at Kevin's resume, the hardest fight that he's had was not against Danny Silva, but against Gene Silva, right? And you see the run that Gene Silva has been going on. Yes, he's coming off a loss against Diego Lopez, a good fight. Diego Lopez now fighting for a world title back-to-back. I don't necessarily think it's that bad of a loss. And to see the style, I mean, I know Ilia Topuria has a boxing style, but Kevin Vallejos looks just like Ilia Topuria. His combinations are starting to look beautiful, absolutely fantastic, great display of boxing. And now he beats the number ranked 15th fighter. Giga was ranked number 15, right? In the featherweight division. I say to myself, who is next? Who? Is it David Onoma? David Onoma coming off that loss to Steve Garcia. Absolutely brutal first round KO. Does David Onoma get this fight with Kevin Vallejos to welcome him to the next fight in his top 15 weight class? Or do you give him somebody like Josh Emmett, ranked number 10, right? Dan Hige. I don't know, but I would love to see a fight with David Onoma. Speaking of David Onoma, what about Melakis Costa, the Dalmatian? This guy is on a 5-fight win streak, 4 fights in 1 year. His last loss was to Steve Garcia, which he got pummeled. But since then, his skin has been clearing up. He's been absolutely looking fantastic. And when you look at these featherweight rankings as well, what about Costa versus David Onoma? Huh? Or Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett is 1-4 in his last 5 fights? 1-3 in his last 4 fights? I think he's losing, and I think he's on that time to become a gatekeeper for these featherweight division. And I think what a way to welcome, either Kevin Vallejos or Melakis Costa to this top 15 rankings with a guy like either David Onoma or Josh Emmett. I love it, bro. I love these fights. I couldn't even imagine Kevin Vallejos versus Josh Emmett or David Onoma, the banger of a fight that would be, right? Costa, same thing, same exact thing. Last night, the UFC 112 fight night was the last fight night of the year. 2026 is the last UFC card of the year. It was the last UFC card of the ESPN Plus deal. And I just want to take the time to thank UFC. I want to take the time to thank UFC fans that continue to support the MMA Boxing Addicts channel. Even if you don't like the videos, even if you don't like what I have to say, if you're one of those people who comes back just to listen to what I have to say, I absolutely appreciate you guys, my friends. This was the last UFC card of the ESPN era. The amount of careers that we got to see grow during this ESPN era, the amount of careers we got to see fall in this ESPN era has been life-changing. And I started this YouTube channel during the ESPN era. And it's a sad thing that we're heading into Paramount Plus, but it's also a great thing. No more pay-per-views, right? January 24th, no more pay-per-views. Paramount Plus on the verge of signing Warner Bros. Studios, right? On the verge of getting a bunch of movies, a bunch of TV shows, even a news channel is going to be put on that platform. It seems like Paramount Plus is becoming the future. And I just want to say thank you guys, my friends. It's been a long, long year. We got a 6-week break coming up. It's time for studying. It's time for predicting fights coming up in 2026. And it's also time for a Merry, Merry Christmas, my friends. This is the MMA Boxing Addicts channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'm out.